Hey guys, GC again here, and welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy I, The Dawn of Souls. In the last episode, we started off our trek of the bonus content in the bonus dungeons, and we started off with the Earthgift Shrine. And this episode, we're going to the Hellfire Chasm. I remember how much I get confused of where I'm going. I remember when I was recording this. So, of course, the post-commentary will continue. And this time, unlike in the Earthgift Shrine, when I'm actually commentating, I'll probably have music in the background. And here we are. So this dungeon, unlike the Earthgift Shrine, is 10 floors, and it is possible to encounter 2 bosses on your trip. So it makes it a lot less tedious. Instead of going through 4 times, you can go through at least twice. And just like in Final Fantasy 3, or Final Fantasy... just like in the Earthgift Shrine, the bosses for each of these dungeons comes from another Final Fantasy game. Which one, you may ask? I won't spoil it for right now. You'll see. So that's the entrance to the next room. However, I just go through it, I guess. So another room. There really isn't much for me to explain, because I mean, I've kind of explained most of it later in the footage, because I'm recording, oddly, the first bit of the recording last. I don't know why, but I did. Let's see. What am I doing? Oh, there's the stairs. If you can see those sparkly tiles, if you step on one, you automatically get into a random encounter. So either you risk going through a bunch of random encounters, or you have to wait for these people to get out of the way, which I'm OP at this point, so I just run through, because I can do it. I can take it. This is kind of my least favorite thing about about this game, is the fact that the people move so slow and you can't, and you have to literally get in before they move. Otherwise you're stuck until they move again, which kind of takes time. No precious time. And it's especially frustrating if you want to get all the goodies in this room. Well, I mean, some things are worth it, some things aren't. But that's just me. So as I say later in the recording, I've already got the footage for Whisperwind Cove ready, and I'm about to do Lightspring Grotto after doing a crap ton of level grinding. I'm probably not going to be confident in there until I'm at least level 80 to level 85. And I'm about level 77. When I came out. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of level grinding, so I'm literally just gonna find one area I find worth just like being in there for about maybe 30 minutes or so. It really just depends on how fast I can gain levels. Because as you can see, some of these enemies will run away. Anyway, for periods of time in this room, if you step on the red tiles, they'll do damage to you. And unlike in the lava tiles, you can actually find random encounters. We get a white dragon. Get eye drops. Not in particular, not really useful because I have Blinda, because that just cures the darkness status. I really can't believe we're almost done with this game. But as I said, I probably will say this later, but I do plan on doing these games in chronological order. When I will be doing 2, you'll see. I want to get through a couple of other LPs first. Well, I mean, I've already got 2 Let's Plays on my palette right now. I've got New Mystery and Breath of the Wild to finish. I'll probably do one more game, and then I may do Final Fantasy II. I probably won't, but we'll see what happens. I don't know, I haven't really thought that out because I might want to get through the other 2 Let's Plays I'm currently doing right now. Alright, so we made it to our first boss room, level 5. I'm gonna save state 4. Alright, put a save state just because, you never know. Ooh! What a treat. What a treat to be the one to send to your graves. Perish knowing that it was Scarmiglion who fed your corpses. Alright, so our first boss is Scarmiglion from Final Fantasy IV. Yep, the bosses are from Final Fantasy IV in this game, just as I said. And they're the 4 Archfiends. I'm gonna attempt to fight them in order, which I end up doing successfully. So first off, Scarmiglion's not much of a challenge. He has about 4,000 hit points and 140 magic defense. Really, just spam him with physical attacks and you pretty much have got him. So I'm not really going to be doing the bios anymore like I did in the past. I'm kind of just going to speak about them briefly, some important notes about them, and any kind of weaknesses they have if they have any. So I remember finding Scarmiglion in Final Fantasy IV. Even though I did have Cecil at like level 20 as a Dark Knight, which I still wish he should have stuck as a Dark Knight, Scarmiglion, he didn't really put up much of a challenge, and I had Porum and Paloom with me, even though they really weren't that strong. Really, all they had was their black magic and white magic. That's really all they had. I still wish Radio was dead. Actually, I think I had Tella too. However, he did not have Meteor. Well, I mean, Meteor was what killed him, spoiler alert. Yeah, in this strategy, I just kind of spam him with Temper, Haste, and physical attacks, and Camden literally just did 3/4 of his hit points. You've given me a fine death, indeed you have. And only in death can you know the true terror of Scarmiglion. And yep, time to change the music. It's now a dreadful fight. Alright, so this is his true form, his demon form, as some websites call him. He rose from 4,000 hit points to about 7,046. Really, just most of the same strategy before. The only difference is he's gained a 3,000 boost and a poison gas attack, which can do over 400 damage to your party, which can be pretty scary, but really the best way to counter this is to use Healega, Haste, Temper, and Saber. And also, since he is undead, he has a weakness to fire and Dia spells, but because of his high magic resistance, they really won't be doing much. But as I was saying earlier, in his first form, Camden literally dealt 3/4 of his health in one attack. But yeah, I decided to switch from the boss theme to a dreadful fight because we are against the elemental archfiends, of course. I don't think I've gone up against his true form yet, though, because I haven't been that far. I've only been up to the second archfiend before my emulator got revoked on my phone. I don't know when I'll be doing a Let's Play of the game. Probably soon. Well, I'm planning on doing them in chronological order, which that means it'll take me ages before I get to 15. So Cade fell to his poison attack. Get up, Cade. You gotta fight. Thank the Lord for full life, and he's dead. That's it. Alright, so now we're gonna move on to the next one. I'll see you guys when we reach the next boss. And now we reach the second boss. For those of you who have played Final Fantasy IV, since I'm going to them in chronological order, you should know who the next one is. You're just in time, my little playmates. I get so lonely here. Won't you keep me company? It's Cognazo. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's just a giant turtle thing I don't know exactly what he's supposed to be. I know he's like supposed to represent Eternal, but what kind? Alright, so the reason I'm using a Dreadful Fight here, instead of... because in the PlayStation version, they created remixes of the boss fights. I feel like a Dreadful Fight is a lot more symbolic here, since we are, as I said, we're fighting the elemental Archfiends. 3 did have a remix, but I wanted to do the boss theme for that one. 5... I don't know. For the others, I don't know if I will. So far, in terms of footage, I have about to the... as the day I'm recording this, or I'm editing this today, which is September 2nd, I have recorded the Whisperwind Cove, and I'm going to be doing Lifespring Grotto in a little bit. Oh boy. That place is going to be a nightmare for me. If I had trouble on the final boss of Whisperwind Cove, that whole area is going to be a nightmare. And I'm almost level 80. Seriously, here, I'm about, like, level 60, low 70s, high 60s, and I'm level high 70s there. Okay, so he has about almost 8,000 hit points, and he has pretty good magic defense. He is weak to thunder magic, but just stick to physical attacks. And unlike his incarnation of Final Fantasy IV, he cannot hide back in his shell, and... well, I spoke too fast. Now that he's done, I'll see you guys in the next one. So, here we... Alright, I was gonna continue, my bad. I thought we were on the next floor. That's on me. Yeah, I completely forget this place is 10 floors instead of 5 floors. I think also the reason I said that was because Cognazzo is on the same floor as Scarmiglion, so I had to redo that one. I had to basically go 2 trips. Well, I mean, I had to go 2 trips anyway to face all the bosses. But I was hoping... well, either way, I'm here. So yeah, Final Fantasy IV is one, if not my favorite Final Fantasy game, even though I haven't completed it yet. I've heard so many rumors that Zeromus is really difficult on the DS version. I'm hoping that before I do Final Fantasies 3 through the rest, I hope to at least have 3 through the rest on Steam, so I'm able to play... because to play 7, 8, 9, 10, and all those other ones on the PlayStation, I have to play them on Steam because I don't... they're on the PlayStation... they're on the console I don't have, which is the PlayStation. I've never owned a PlayStation. I'm just lucky 15 was on the Xbox, which is actually one of my favorites. But I think 4... I don't know why, I've always had a soft spot for 4. So in here we got lava tiles, of course, if you remember back in Mount Glug, I think it was, you take damage, but in return you don't have random encounters. Which I found is a fair trade-off. Even though most of the enemies in these dungeons I can easily one-shot. Like that. Just wandering around in circles. When do I actually get to the next... Alright, I've got like 50 million floors before I even get down there. I will say though, my Whisperwind Cove footage is just a mess. Just like with how many pieces of footage I have, it's just a giant mess of crap. Oh, lucky me, another maze. I really didn't like this maze in Mount Glug, so why did they bring it back? Well, at least now I'm overpowered. I will also say my party is well equipped for the Lifespring Grotto. Yeah, I believe I got all of our final weapons, unless I can find a weapon that's stronger for one of them. Which, I think I may have found my ultimate weapon. Cade has one of the weapons we currently have. Camden, I think I've heard there's a weapon stronger than the Excalibur. And Aiden has his weapon, even though his sprite looks like a male, or a female. Which is kind of odd, because the weapon does damage based off of your HP. He actually has quite a bit of HP, though. Well, actually, he's capped. Actually, all of them are close to capping HP. Camden and Aiden already have. I'm actually close, which is surprising. But, I mean, I found, like, a bunch of those apples, so I kept feeding them to myself so I could get more HP, because I was hoping to cap it, which now I should be able to. Alright, we're finally on floor 10. So this is where we actually get to the bosses. I make a save state here because why not? So I go down this way and I go through this door. I suppose I underestimated you. I didn't think you'd make it this far. No matter, my brick's winds shall cut you down. So we've got Barbarica, Isia. I don't know how to pronounce them. I mean, some of these names they come up with is just so odd. Okay, let me look at it. Barbaricia? I'm just gonna go with that. I kind of just make up my own pronunciations. Alright, so unlike Cognazo, she went up from, well, the HP amount just went up from 7,000 to 12,000. And she has good magic defense. I don't know, what is up with these bosses and good magic defense? So on the bright side, unlike in her Final Fantasy IV incarnation, she'll not cover herself in her hair. She does have low defense, but high magic defense, so physical attacks are the way to go. She alternates her attack between a physical strike that'll hit around 250 damage and a special attack called Ray, which can be triggered by a single character but usually misses, and a powerful Cyclone skill. Basically, Cyclone does about 300 damage, and she may use it two turns in a row. Luckily for the level I'm at, because a lot of people at this time are probably around level 40. I mean, look at like the YouTuber, the Johnny Mayor, he was around level 40, I think, at this point, or maybe about 50. But I'm in the 60s, close to 70. So luckily, this will not two-shot me. I can survive. Each of us can survive 3 hits. Cam can actually survive 3. Yeah, with petrification, that's not much of a problem because of our ribbons. Actually, I don't think Camden has a ribbon. Because when I was recording the Whisperwind footage, he didn't have a ribbon. So I gave him another helmet that was actually boosts his defense by a lot. So Raish will most likely, yep, miss. Yeah, she's really not that strong. I would say the last guy on the list is actually pretty, somewhat different. And so now we get the Braveheart Sword. I don't think it's that much strong. It's not stronger than any of the weapons I currently have. All it does is it casts Confuse when you use it as an item. Alright, so now we're going to get to the final character of this dungeon. I'll see you guys then. Alright, so we made it to the final area. Well, this is the final area. We've been here before. But this will be the final boss of the Hellfire Chasm, which will be kind of interesting. I can find out what... Dang it. Don't tell me what he says. But this guy is my personal favorite of the 4 elemental archfiends. I'm Ruby Conte. Let us measure your worth, warriors, in a crucible of my flames. You are an interesting one indeed. Such powers invoked by mere anger alone. But they will not avail you. The frozen winds of Hell's ninth circle cannot penetrate this cloak of flame I wear. Come, I will heal your wounds. Face me at full strength! You think our rage a weakness? Then let me show you how wrong you are! Okay, I had to say two of my personal favorite lines from Final Fantasy. Yes, this is Ruby Conte, the elemental archfiend of fire. I don't know why, I love those lines. So Ruby Conte, unlike in his Final Fantasy IV incarnation, he will not heal you back to full health. I wish he did, that would have been awesome, but sadly they can't make my dreams come true of that. He has about 15,000 hit points, and he has the best magic defense out of all of them. Physical attacks are really the best way to deal with these guys, seriously. So, one thing to take note of is he will constantly switch between Fire-Up, Fire-Ega, and a strong physical attack, and his Scorch move. Scorch, for those of you who don't know, is a strong fire-based attack that targets a single character. And Ruby Conte tends to focus this on the party's melee units. So basically, a knight or a master, which is the upgraded version of a monk. Scorch can do upwards of 450 damage, so equipping the Ice Mail or any other armor resistant to fire helps immensely. No Blaze and Protera should be cast by the White Mage whenever healing is not needed. Yeah, so unlike his Final Fantasy IV incarnation, he will not uncover his cloak. Those cloaks in effect, so he's not weak to ice. But yeah, that's Scorch right there in action. Yeah, I just love him because he's more chivalrous, I guess I can say. I don't think he'll last much longer. Yeah, he shouldn't last too much longer. I would say... Now! Game, set, match, Ruby Conte. I'll see you in Final Fantasy IV. And while I let the victory fanfare ring, we get a ribbon, which this is possible to get a fourth ribbon, even though I may have missed one, and a Kikuchi Manji. I probably mispronounced that horribly. But anyway, that is the end of the Hellfire Chasm. Yep. It's probably my favorite one, just because it has one of my favorite bosses in Final Fantasy, even though I never actually fought him. I just had to let the victory fanfare ring, because why not? So I'm almost to level 70. Well, I'm gonna end it off here, so I hope you guys did all enjoy. Be sure to smash the like button if you did, and if you're new to my channel, also be sure to subscribe. Anyway, in the next episode, we'll be heading to Whisperwind Cove. Until next time.